Hi. Is polygamy a sin? We've been discussing that in the chat room because a man on Facebook wrote a long post about polygamy and how it isn't sinful. And it was a great discussion, a lot of different opinions. But the Bible doesn't come out and say that polygamy is a sin. In fact, God in the Old Testament, there was a lot of men of old who had more than one wife. And God never condemned them for doing that. And I think it was because a lot of men were being killed at war and doing the heavy work of protecting and providing their families. And there weren't as many people, so there were a lot of women and children who were left destitute. And so these wealthy men would marry all these women, concubines, and give them a place to live and food and shelter. So I think it was a necessity for the times, but I don't believe at all in any way that it is God's intention for us. Because God created Adam, and then he created Eve as his helpmeet. He didn't create a bunch of women for Adam's helpmeet. He knew that Adam only needed one woman in his life. And then he said, the man shall leave his father and mother, and he will cleave to his wife, not wives. So I believe God's perfect intention for us is monogamy, one man and one woman, married until death part them. And so also then a qualification for an elder in the New Testament is that he be the husband of one wife. The elders in the churches are to be blameless, the outstanding men in the churches. There's a lot of qualifications for them. They're to be above reproach, have children that aren't rebellious, and they're to be the husband of one wife. And so I think all men should strive to be the qualities of what an elder is, because those are God's perfect example of what godly men should be. And there is no polygamy mentioned in the New Testament or in the New Covenant, Romans through Revelation, under which we live. Nothing that says anything about men being able to marry multiple wives. And in the Old Testament, all the stories concerning polygamy show that the destruction of it and nothing good about it. Yeah, the women and the children were taken care of, but it caused so much conflict too. Look at Abraham's wives, the two between them, and there's still conflict because of those two children that those two women bore. So we must be careful about making something say it's okay when God never said it was okay. It was good or right. He did. And there's a Bible in the King James that said God winked at a time. It's like he allowed it for a purpose. And he made rules about it in the law to protect the wives and the children. But it's not good. It's not his perfect will for us. We, as believers in Jesus Christ, we always should want to live God's perfect and will for us, because we know that it's good and acceptable. And he's our creator, and he knows what's best for us. So one man should leave his father and mother and cleave to his one wife. They should raise up godly offspring if the Lord blesses their wombs. And this is God's perfect will for us. So do I think polygamy is sin? No, I don't think it's sin, but I don't think it's God's will for us. We have freedom in Christ, but I don't think men should go around marrying multiple women. Because it's still God's perfect will for us to be one man, one wife, until death do us part. And there was something else I was going to talk about in this video, but I never have notes. You probably can tell, but I've kind of forgotten at this point. I'll remember another time and discuss it another time. But anyway, I know I was going to say that some people believe that this man argued that if you have sex with someone, you're married to them because you become one flesh. But the women in the chat room brought up that if a woman is raped or a daughter is raped by her father, they're not married in God's eyes. I think God's really clear about what marriage is. It's leaving and cleaving until death do you part. It's a commitment. It's a vow. It's something for life that you are in for life. You are committed and you raise children together, and as long as you both shall live. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a little bit here. But anyway, I wanted to just get that in too, because that's been a big discussion lately too, with a post that I've written lately about. So anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.